Coming up on the Long Island Business Report, the man who tracks the cash for one of the country's richest counties.
Our budget is a little over $2.7 billion. Sales tax accounts for $1.28 billion of that. So Suffolk County, probably like Nassau County, is very sales tax dependent.
Suffolk County Comptroller Joseph Zawicki on the economic outlook for his county and why Long Island should stop being treated as Albany's ATM and become America's 51st state.
We know upstate is suffering economically, but you know what? People on Long Island are suffering economically now. Why are we paying for the rest of the state when we have trouble keep paying our own bills on Long Island?
It's all straight ahead on this edition of the Long Island Business Report.
Funding for this program has been made possible by Charlotte and David Eckert and the Roush Foundation. And now, from Molloy College at the Madison Theater, here's Jim Paymar with the Long Island Business Report.
Hello, and thank you for being with us. I'm Jim Paymar with the Long Island Business Report. Suffolk County is one of the richest counties in America, yet it faces a large budget deficit over the last few years. Joining me today to discuss Suffolk County's financial outlook and how to ensure its economic future is Joseph Zawicki. He's Suffolk County's Comptroller. Joseph, thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jim. Good to be here.
You have been Comptroller for about 11 years. The last few years cannot have been too pleasant, running budget deficits projected around the $500 million range. How did Suffolk County get into this position?
It all started almost a year ago when the new county executive, relatively new now, he's been in office for a year, Steve Bellone, when he first took office in January of 2012, he commissioned a financial task force because at that point, at the end of 11, the last half of 11, we started recognizing that things really weren't coming to fruition in the county's budget. Revenues weren't coming in, expenses were higher than planned, overtime was kind of like getting out of control somewhat. And so when Steve Bellone came in, he said, let's get a real handle for the beginning of my administration on what the county's finances look like. So we commissioned a report made up of financial experts that did work over the years in New York City, Nassau County, and across the metropolitan region. Basically, again, about a year ago in March, they released a report saying that for a 3-year period, 11, 12, and 13, Suffolk would probably be in the hole about $530 million if things weren't changed. Mm-hmm. That was a real wake-up call because prior to that, Suffolk was led to believe everything was, but the prior administration was led to believe things were rosy, things were getting better, and that really wasn't, obviously that wasn't the case. That $530 million estimate got worse as we got into 12 because our office did the financial statements, the actual financial statements for the end of 11, and that showed it wasn't a $30 million, which was originally estimated by the budget experts. That grew to $57 million hole. So since 2011 and now in 2012, we're estimating a $70 million shortfall, again, a budget estimate. And if things aren't changed going through 13, we're looking at close to or maybe even a little over $100 million shortfall.
How are you coping with this? How are you dealing with this? Is there a way to rectify the situation?
Jim, the policymakers of the county executive and the legislature, they have a lot of work cut out for them. They're the policymakers. They set the tone of the budget. They set what the budget revenues are going to be, and then they set what the budget expenses are going to be. Right. And the Comptroller's office is our job to make sure the revenues come in and audit them, and make sure that when the expenses go out, that they're accurate and we audit those. So in terms of the work they have to cut out for them, it's what we call correcting, and this has been the subject of some rating meetings we've had with Standard & Poor's, with Moody's, with Fitch. When they come in and rate our borrowings, either short-term or long-term, they come in and they look at Suffolk's structural budget. Mm-hmm. And we've been out of balance now for 4 or 5 years. The budget has been plugged. When I say structural, I kind of mean like that. You're like running a household. Mm-hmm. Your income covers your expenses. And if it doesn't, you either got to increase your income or you lower your expenses. And that's just like running a government, and you know, as simple as it is. And so structurally, when you're plugging the revenue in a municipal budget, you could use one-shot revenues, and that's what has been done for the last 5 or 6 years. One shot. They're non-recurring. They're good for 1 year, like the sale of the nursing home, for instance.
Right.
Once that's sold, that's never going to be a revenue again in future budgets.
The two ways that you get revenue primarily are through the sales tax and through property taxes, correct?
Correct.
Aren't they both on the rise, though, right now? Aren't you getting back into equilibrium?
The sales tax is, our budget is a little over $2.7 billion. Sales tax accounts for 1.28 billion of that, roughly 45%. So Suffolk County, probably like Nassau County, is very sales tax dependent. Even though sales tax has been rising 2 and 3% a year, and it was only a couple of years where it was basically static, like level, it's still not enough to keep up with budget estimates, which were 3.5%, 3%. So we're still behind, and then what happened was really hitting the county's budget for 13 at the end, we suspect at the end of 12, is Superstorm Sandy.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, we just can't quantify how people stopped spending money. Some budget people were saying, well, people will be spending more money to rebuild their homes and that'll generate more sales tax, but it doesn't seem to be working out that way.
Are funds coming in from the feds, from Albany, to help out Sandy victims? Might that help?
They are. We're estimating right now. I had a meeting yesterday with the budget people in the county exec's office, and we're estimating that Suffolk's cost is going to be about $70 million. Sandy-related costs from overtime for our police department, for our, all the public workers on the county payroll, for debris removal. That's reimbursable by FEMA if and when Washington comes to an agreement and ever gets us the money, 75%. So it's still the net cost of the county, which we didn't expect on our budgets, going to be over $17 million.
Yeah. Have you been able to put a cap on costs? Because, you know, employment is a huge factor, and the pensions that you have to pay out, I know we're suffering that in Nassau County as well as Suffolk County.
Yeah, the pension is just going through the roof. It's over $230 million a year, and that all goes back to the 2008-2009 stock market dive, and it's the state controller's policy, and he's guided by state law and state constitution that pension fund in Albany for all state workers and municipal workers has to be maintained. So until we hit that level, all municipalities, whether it's towns or counties or school districts, their pension costs are strangling everybody.
But the pensions are invested into the markets, correct?
That's, yes. And
the markets have come back. I mean, we're back up around the 14,000 level. That's where we were back in 2007, 2008.
Right. Whether the state control of the Napoli, whether he's determined that that's, you know, and his budget and his investment experts in the pension fund has determined that's billions of dollars, Jim.
Right.
Has that come up back enough to make up for the loss in 2008? I don't know the answer to that.
So what can you do? What adjustments can be made? Is there a way of, well, getting back to what you mentioned earlier, another cost that you have is the downgrading of your debt by Moody's, Fitch, and S&P. So how do you deal with that? You're paying more for interest on your bonds.
Well, you're right, Jim, but we're still in the A category, in the upper A category, which when you look at ratings by Wall Street and by Standard & Poor's and by Fitch and by Moody's, they still rate us in the upper middle levels, if you will. We were in the AA categories until the Financial Task Force released their report that we were going to be in the whole $500+ million. They lowered us about a year ago to basically a single A, A+, A3 category. The rating agencies has different ratings. But the bottom line is that we're still borrowing relatively inexpensive. We borrowed in this past December, tax anticipation notes, $410 million at 0.67%. I mean, it's almost like free money when you're borrowing under 1%. And so the ratings, so the bankers, the investment community in the country that sees Suffolk, and especially compared to other municipalities across the country, we're still holding our own and doing okay. But the key is we have to nip in the bud our financial dilemma, our problems immediately.
Yeah.
We can't wait until it's too late.
Of course. You know, it's hard for a lot of people to believe that home of the Hamptons, places like Dix Hills, the North Fork, the wineries, that you have a financial dilemma on your hands.
It's all about the budget in the county just being out of whack. We estimate that structurally, again, normal, regular income, regular quote unquote, regular expenses are out of whack about $100 to $125 million. That's what the legislature and the county executive have to resolve this upcoming budget year in September and October and November when they come up with 2014's budget. There's a structural imbalance. There aren't any one-shots left in Suffolk County. The prior administrations have exhausted them. So now you have to come up with a budget that works year after year, depending on the same amount of income and the same amount of expenses. No more one-shots or like extraordinary type of income items.
Can you sell off property? Can you sell off real estate? I mean, is there any way to increase revenues coming into Suffolk County without raising taxes?
That's, excellent question, and that's exactly what's been done over the years and considered a one-shot. The one that comes to mind first and foremost is the county's nursing home, the John J. Foley Nursing Home. It's been trying, the prior administration, the prior county executive tried to sell it. It met with all kinds of legal entanglements. Still not sold yet. County Executive Balone is trying to sell it. He's met a lot of legal obstacles. If we sell the nursing home, the last estimate, the last buyer's proposal was about $23 million. And that's what is in the 2013 budget. But it's a one-shot because that $23 million is not going to be available to the county for operating expenses for 14 and 15 and so on. So there's a Yaphank land sale. There's excess or surplus county property that the county voted to sell last year. That hasn't closed yet, but it's another $20 million. It's in this year's budget. The Dennison building, the famous Dennison building, the county building. We're entertaining in the budget for 13, the legislature and the county executive want to sell and lease that back from a buyer to get a one-shot of roughly $70 million.
Right.
But the downside to that, Jim, is
you don't own the building anymore.
You don't own the building anymore, and now you have to pay rental or lease expense every year. And now, but now you own it. So I mean, these are the kind of one-shots that you're trying to do anything to avoid raising taxes.
Well, bottom line though on this is you got to drive new business into Suffolk County. You got to generate revenue through corporate taxes and through building new homes to support new workers and getting workers out there who are buying things and paying sales tax, et cetera. Is that happening?
That's probably one of the biggest issues that every municipality, from the state level to the county level to the town level, that any elected official is grappling with these days. Personally, I've seen, or anybody who's lived in Suffolk County, I can't speak for Nassau, but I kind of presume they're in the same situation, because no one wants to raise taxes over the past 5 or 6 years. And that's kind of why, or how Suffolk got into this dilemma too. The prior administration never wanted to raise taxes.
Of course not.
Legislators didn't want to raise taxes. Nobody wants to raise taxes.
Of course.
But you still have your roads to maintain. You have your bridges to maintain. You have your government buildings to maintain. Your workforce is going to get a cost of living raise. I mean, the police departments have binding arbitration over the years. They're going to get a normal cost of living.
Right.
The county's electric expenses go up. Our fuel oil heating expenses go up. You just can't keep taxes level as much as we'd love to. We'd like to keep our expenses level on our own homes, but we can't because everything rises around us. So you got to keep pace at least with inflation. And that hasn't been done now. So what's the answer? The answer is with all the roads I was talking about that are in, some of them are in some of the towns are in absolutely decrepit condition. Maybe a solution would be as a major bond issue. Put it on the ballot, let the voters decide, do they want to invest and borrow over 30 or 40 years hundreds of millions of dollars to repair their roads and buildings? That would put a lot of people to work. It would spur the economy.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. But then again, private enterprise coming in with 5,000 high-paying jobs would spur the economy even more. And how do we redevelop what we lost with the Grumman leaving? And you've got Calverton out there, huge parcels of land that could be developed and businesses.
And they're still wrestling with Calverton. Calverton's closer to my neck of the woods. I live out in the East End, and there's still not a final resolve to that issue yet. It's like everything just gets stuck in the mud and keeps spinning.
Why? I mean, that's what really aggravates people. Why can't governments here on the island, the state, the feds, why can't we drive things a little bit faster so that we don't have these situations where...
I remember watching one of the presidential debates, and Mitt Romney, I think he took his fist and then slammed it on the table. He said, "I'm cutting federal regulations. So I'm going to do what we have to do."
Yeah,
This to
it's not that easy.
It's not well. First of all, he didn't get elected, but that's what you need. It's got to start from the top and go to the bottom. I mean, the regulations in any municipality will strangle people for businesses. But I know there's been efforts by the county executives over the years to keep businesses on Long Island. But from a business's point of view, you have to wonder how can they attract new employees if it's so hard to live on Long Island,
So
to afford
expensive.
to live. It's
Right.
expensive.
Right.
So where does it stop? Where does
Yeah.
that snowball effect start? I know Cannon has a great facility moving now to Suffolk County
Right.
this spring. I believe they'll finally complete, and those are hundreds and hundreds of employees right here. We need more of those.
You're kind of like a cop, though, in a way, aren't you? You're doing a lot of clawback efforts. You're going out and finding people who have defrauded Suffolk County. You're going after people like people who are double dipping, some of the reservists who've come back. And tell me about some of your efforts.
That's interesting. You brought that up about the military reservists. None of us, Jim, have anything critical to say about our men and women who serve in the
course
military,
not.
in the reserve, and,
Yeah,
we all
absolutely.
love, we all appreciate, and there's nothing more accolades we could give to these people, more thanks and appreciation. But on the other side of the coin, there's been a law in the county books now for almost 20 years that when county employees, a lot of police, a lot of deputy sheriffs, a lot of correction officers, when they served in the military reserves, and they're called to active duty, they were sent to active duty, the county legislature passed a law back in right after the first Persian Gulf War in 94, I believe, or 93, and then again in 2001, 2002, that said if you get called on military and active duty, we will, and if your county salary was higher, and you have to abandon your county job and go serve the military, we will make you whole, and we will pay you your county salary. However, you have to return the military salary if that's less. In most cases, the military salary was less.
Yeah.
The county stopped right there.
Yeah.
The county government stopped right there. The administrations that were in effect back in the early 2000s, they never had any policy in place to say, hey, guys, and ladies, when you come back, you have to pay us back the other salary. So this has been not an easy audit for us by any stretch of the imagination, because you're going after people that might have served, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and they did their military duty. But at the same time, they have to pay the money back.
Right.
It's not only law, it's the
Right.
right thing to do, because you can't keep two paychecks. Nobody is allowed to keep two paychecks for one job. So right now, Jim, the audit is almost complete.
Right.
We estimate that we've gotten back almost $1.9 million.
Yep.
Hasn't been easy. A lot of it's been pulling teeth. But it's the right thing to do, and it's taxpayers' money. No matter how you cut it, it's taxpayers' money.
Let me ask you a question that I find very intriguing. You have been a proponent of making Long Island its own independent state, the 51st state in the United States. And one of the reasons that you propose this is that you feel that we send too much money up to Albany, and we don't get it back here on Long Island. Tell me about the disparity.
Jim, I'm glad you raised this question, because this is an issue that just drives me crazy, and it's tax dollars. It's not a political issue. It's a tax dollar issue to me as the controller. The net effect of Nassau and Suffolk County, what we send to Albany versus what we get back in each year, we get back in services and school aid and state aid for highways and libraries and whatever. A little over $3 billion a year. Billion with a B. I mean, that's incredible. There was a study done by Dr. Marty Cantor and Dowling College about a year and a half. They provided the numbers. They basically confirmed what Dr. Lee Koppelman, the famous Dr. Lee Koppelman, did 20 years ago,
Right.
saying that there's a discrepancy. Long Island is considered the wealthiest part of the state, outside of Manhattan, of course, by the politicians in Albany, and they all the time are just using Long Island as their personal cash cow.
Why can't we stop that?
That's something, we have prevented, thanks to our elected representatives in Nassau and Suffolk, in both the Senate and the Assembly. We've stopped a lot of the hemorrhaging. Governors over the years, Governor Spitzer atrociously wanted to, in one of his proposed budgets, wanted to literally kill Long Island, take from us and give to upstate. We know upstate is suffering economically, but you know what? People on Long Island are suffering economically now. The taxes are strangling people. Young people can't afford to live here anymore. Older people, seniors can't afford to keep up. So if we took that let's say it's $3.5 billion a year, Jim, and if we kept that right here in Nassau and Suffolk County,
Make a tremendous, yeah.
Why are we paying for the rest of the state when we have trouble keep paying our own bills on Long Island?
Are you getting any traction? Is anyone behind this?
We were going pretty well. It needs a groundswell movement. We need people out there to get excited and to start petitioning our Albany government. Senator Ken LaValle and Assemblyman Fred Thiel introduced a bill 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's introduced again. But obviously it's not going to go anywhere because they need a lot of support from the state legislature. The Suffolk County Legislature, led by Legislator Bill Lindsay, its presiding officer, passed a home rule message supporting that bill up in Albany. But again, it's like until we start raising Cain and still we start rattling the cages,
right,
we got to let Albany know that we're not happy and we're not going to take it anymore.
Joe, could we really be a viable 51st state? I mean, is it possible that we could do it?
No question about it. We could afford it based on our population, and we could afford it based on our economics on Long Island. By population, Jim, we would be larger than 19 states. We would be larger with 2.8 million people in Nassau and Suffolk County. We would be larger than Alaska, Wyoming, North Dakota, and
South
New Hampshire.
Dakota?
Combined, yeah. the four states combined,
Yeah.
Alaska, Wyoming,
Yeah.
North Dakota, and New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Larger than those 4 states combined. Our median income, we're ranked in of individual counties between Nassau and Suffolk, we're ranked in the top 10% financially based counties in the nation. I mean, there's no question of the money that, and just think about it. Think about the politics of it and the government of it. We could restructure all we're so over-governed in Nassau and Suffolk County.
Right.
Look at Nassau County. We all have our towns. We'd want to keep our towns in sync just for
Right.
local control. But if you look at the water districts and the special districts in Nassau County, you look at all the villages in Suffolk County,
Right.
you look at all, for instance, the police departments. You have state police, county police, town police, village police, court systems, the same thing. It's like incredibly we're overburdened. A new state would give us an opportunity to streamline. We wouldn't need county government. Just keep the 10 towns in place. I mean, it'd be a wonderful opportunity to really restructure. And that's not, those costs that we would save aren't even factored into the $3
Right.
billion a year we would save.
Well, we have hundreds of jurisdictions here. I mean, it's just
Way too many.
overlapping, and everyone realizes that, and nothing is
And they're
ever
all
done
expensive.
about it.
And they're all very expensive.
Yeah, so, I mean, do you feel that you could ever get some of the other big-time politicians behind this?
Again, the more politicians, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years,
Yeah.
politicians listen to the people. And when people start banging their fists on the table saying, we want some action, we want a state. If nothing else, Jim, let's start with the bill that's in Albany now. Let's put it on the ballot. Let's let everybody in Nassau and Suffolk County decide as a first step. Let's vote, do we want to secede and pursue secession action against the state of New York? But by putting that on the ballot in any November election,
Right.
that'll have all the media focused on all the facts. Check our facts, check Dr. Cantor's facts from Dowling College, check my facts, and get it all out there and let the people decide. Do they still want to suffer under the state of New York and
Right.
send $3.5 billion a year to Albany? Or do we want to go our own way?
Okay, if you had a crystal ball and you had to look forward into Suffolk County's future, where do you see the county from a financial point of view going forward once you get through this $500 million crisis that you've confronted?
I think that sales tax will eventually rise again to the numbers that when the economy really turns around. The recent news in the housing market, the housing building, new construction across the country seems to be getting much better, according to recent reports. Long Island, because they lagged going into the recession, lagged behind the rest of the nation, I think will lag in the recovery. When sales tax turns around, and when the economy in general turns around, that'll make a couple things happen. You get when the county has to cut back, and people lose their jobs, it raises the other side of county spending. For instance, the social services side, because now you have more people draining social services because they need assistance for their family. once the economy turns around, that side goes up and the social services end of it, to use that as an example, goes down. So I think 3 or 4 years, and also the county legislature and the county executive, they have no choice. They have to come up with a structural balanced budget in 2014. And we use that going forward. Don't deviate. Don't spend more than we're used to spending. And we have to cut back on our borrowing.
Let me ask you one final question. Is there a way for Suffolk and Nassau counties to work together more closely to develop a greater economic possibility for the island?
I think definitely. I know that the two county executives, Bologna and Mangano, have met several times. I'm not sure exactly what they've agreed on, but I know the prior county executives have met and agreed on shared purchasing of certain items. What I think where really Nassau County can help, Jim, is to embrace Suffolk's home rule message on the state of Long Island. If you have a county executive like Mangano and Bologna out there crying to Albany, say, hey, we don't like the way we're getting treated. Either you straighten out and say, give us more, let us keep more of the revenue and the taxes that are generated down here. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and push the secession movement. That's how we can work together as a region.
Well, listen, lots to talk about. A bright future ahead, we hope, for Suffolk County. I thank you, Joseph, for being with us today. And that wraps up our conversation on Suffolk County finances. For more on the Long Island Business Report, log on to our website. You can also find us on Facebook and join the conversation on Twitter. I'm Jim Paymar. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Long Island Business Report, and we'll see you next time.
Funding for this program was made possible by Charlotte and David Eckert and the Roush Foundation.